a colony being established by several benefactors of the Freeport. And we had just sailed into the bay. So I'm going to do some quick introductions of the players here with their characters, and we will get started. Leah, we'll start with you.
My character, her name is Laurelyn. She is a wood elf druid. When you see her, she's kind of on the skittish side. She's rather shy. She tends to keep to herself. That's about it.
All right, we'll move on to Thomas.
All right, I am Thomas. I'm going to be playing Haruzarak, a blue dragon-born monk. He's a very confident, sure of himself kind of man who attracts a lot of attention because of his fairly muscular build. He tends to stand, or he stands at 6'7". He's very solidly built and only ever wears pants because he tends to shred shirts with the spines on his back.
Excellent. All right, we'll move on to Sam.
Yep. Samuel. I will be playing as Galvan, a human wizard. His background is Mason, stonemason, and he is looking into Golomancy. That is what he's planning on going to do. And that's all I got.
All right. Well, we will pick right back up where we left off. The ship Peregrine and her crew, along with 2 other ships full of supplies and hopeful colonists, have arrived in the bay. And Captain Magnus has noticed that something wasn't quite right within the settlement of Sarae's Bounty. And our group wizard here looked through and appears to be completely and utterly abandoned. From this distance, you couldn't tell if there was any kind of violence or anything involved. So we are now picking up with you, Gal. How do you react to seeing what you've noticed here?
Looking through the spyglass. There's no one there. I hand off the spyglass to Haruzarak.
Well, Haru takes it, gives a cursory glance over the port. He's more or less seeing if the town looks in shambles or if there's any boats left.
Okay, yeah, there's no boats. There is a lone dock coming off the beach into the water, but no boats attached to it. There is a couple of canoes overturned, bottom side up on the beach. Spread out beyond the wall, there's the wooden wall with the gate wide open. Doesn't really seem like it had seen much damage or anything like that. The fields that the previous settlers had planted look untended and overgrown with weeds at this point. So it looks as if it's been quite a bit of time since anybody's been here.
Well, Haru's going to look around for the next person to hand the spyglass off to. That seems to be pretty much all the information he's going to glean at the moment. So I'll pass it to Laurelyn or back to Captain Magnus, whoever's closer. Or
Laurelyn will take it.
all right.
She's going to look through, and first thing she looks at is the bay area. Curious, it's still place that we were?
I'm sorry.
The bay, like,
Mhm.
is it filthy like the other place that we were at?
No. It's very pristine. Like there's not been much of civilization's touch here, and the settlement itself is really, really new. There hasn't been much chance for industry or anything of that nature that would pollute anything of the landscape or the waterways.
Excellent. She takes a deep breath of the air and hands off the telescope.
All right. As you hand the telescope back to Captain Magnus, his first mate comes up, an attractive young female comes up to Galvin, assuming that he is the leader of said group, looking the most professional, and the captain is showing him a little more deference. She says she leans in, but trying not to let anybody else hear. She said, "We need to talk. Come with me, you and your friends," and heads directly towards the captain's cabin.
Leave off Bergerac and Laurelin, and we head below deck. Or where are we going?
Into the captain's cabin.
Into the captain's cabin. Okay.
Haru is going to clench his fist in preparation, just in case she's not on the up and up.
Okay.
Laura Lynch is going to follow Haru.
Okay, speedily she goes across deck, pushing her way past crew members who are looking on. As you follow her, you start to hear some of not only the crew, but some of the potential settlers starting to murmur among themselves about bad omens and what can this mean, and any number of worried chitter-chatter as you make your way towards the door. Walking into the cabin, Mona pushes the door closed with her back to it and looks to the three of you, saying, "We have a problem." She walks towards the desk and turns around. "Something's wrong. Nobody's in sight. There's no smoke from the cook fires or the smithy. Some of the buildings look burned out. If the sailors can't keep their mouths shut, soon all the other colonists are going to hear about this. If they can't see for themselves already, things have become rather tense."
Well, obviously there seems to be problems on the island.
We could go check it out.
Do about it, but if it's beyond our ability to fix, then we may just have to abandon the settlement.
She shakes her head tersely. That's not an option. There's not enough supplies on any of these ships to make it back to Freeport with everybody aboard. This was a one-way trip for 2/3 of the people on these vessels.
Well, we're just going to have to get organized.
We'll have to see what supplies we can get from Sarae's bounty and maybe start planning for rationing if it comes to that.
She puts her hand up to her face and starts pacing. She starts. You can't tell if she's really talking to herself or not. But then she stops and looks at you. "Okay, we're going to have you and an away team go ashore and see what the situation is up close while we keep the colonists here. After that, after we get the okay from you that everything is safe, then we can move forward from there." Yes, that'll do.
Guess while we're ashore, we just have to worry about mutinies.
She said, "You leave that to me and the captain."
Shrugs. Very well. We'll go see what's happening on the island.
And with that, she leans out and calls to one of the crew to retrieve the captain. And we'll move forward a little bit as the plan is laid out with the captain and signal on to the others, the other two vessels. Pardon me. They agree that a small away team can accompany you to the shore, headed up by one of the potential colonists, a man by the name of Oliver, and they will assist you in finding out what the current situation is up close. But the remainder of the crew will stay on the ships to ensure the safety of the colonists from themselves. And about an hour later, you find yourselves on one of two vessels, or one of two rowboats, rowing across the bay. The second rowboat has the other crew in it. There's 3 men-at-arms with sabers and at least 1 musket, and a man that's much different looking than the rest of them. This man looks as if he is a person of birth, a person of wealth and privilege. A stern look on his face, but he looks as if he's having the time of his life. Meanwhile, on your boat, Haru seems to be rowing all alone while the wizard is looking towards the shore. And Laurelyn, what exactly are you doing right now?
Her hands in the water. She's just kind of taking in the nature. She's just absorbing it right now. Clean air, clean water. She's happy.
Excellent. Galvin, what's going through your head?
I'm just looking at the burnt out houses as we get closer, wondering to myself, what are we going to run into when we get ashore? I'm going to keep my eyes out, keep my eyes open, scanning the shore, scanning the further interior if I can see anything. Should I make a perception?
No. One thing that you do notice as you get closer is there's a larger building inside of the wooden walls, which are, from this angle you can see, are kind of triangular in shape, surrounding a few longhouses and a larger building that looks to be a chapel. This is the first time that you noticed that this building itself has been burned out. Seems to have been a fire there, but nothing else seems damaged within the area. Within a few minutes, the boats come up on either side of this long dock coming right off the beach, and you start to pile out and grab your gear and come ashore onto the dock itself. You see that once off the beach, the land kind of raises up about a gentle slope of maybe 10 or 15 feet, where you see pavilion tents set up in front of the wall on the right side from your perspective. And beyond that, several fields of crops that have kind of gone back to nature, so to say. And a few primitive-looking huts that were hastily built with thatched roofs. No movement comes from any of this, aside from the sounds of your footsteps off the dock and the wind coming out of the northwest. You don't hear anything.
Are there any animals like dogs, cats, chickens? Like
No, nothing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say what we should do first is make sure the gates are secure and then check the town. So we don't have anything coming from outside.
Seems like a fair enough idea.
Okay.
I was just going to begin moving through the houses, but we should definitely stay together. That was my thought, in case we run into trouble.
Team have gotten their gear out. You see, these look to be fairly decently trained soldier types. They don't have a unifying uniform, so to say, kind of mishmashed together, but they have an air of professionalism about them. The man leading them, you assume, is the one called Oliver. He comes forward. He comes forward and looks all of you in the eye, extending his hand. The first thing that strikes you is how handsome the man is. He is almost a picture perfect example of what a nobleman should look like. Just the air given off of him exudes authority. And he reaches out and grabs your hand, Haru, and shakes it with surprising strength.
Okay. Haru keeps an eye on him. He wasn't really looking to shake the man's hand, but since he offered, he just went along with it. There's a momentary hesitation there. Then Haru says, "I'm Haru Zarak, and I believe you may be Oliver."
He looks to you, nods. Oliver Strauss, yes. It seems quite dead here. Well, shall we be on then? I suggest that together we at least see that the walls are secured before anything else.
Yeah, well, we were going to check out the gates first.
Excellent place to start. And signals his men with a short whistle and pointing towards the walled section of town. And they walk off ahead of you.
We follow.
So,
all right. The path leading from the beach has been pretty well maintained. It carved it up pretty well, and it hasn't grown grass back to it yet, although you can see it start to creep in along the sides. The slope goes up a little more gently than what it looked like from the dock itself. You see the pavilion tents kind of in disarray. Most of them have fallen, while the remainder kind of just lean haphazardly against the rest of them. Already going through the gates itself, I need a perception check from all of you.
19 total.
I just got 4.
7.
Okay, Haru, you kind of see something moving underneath the one of the tents that have fallen.
Mhm.
You notice that this is not the wind that's making this move, and hear a little bit of a rustle and a tussle underneath, as if something's digging around under there.
Haru is going to like snap his fingers commandingly and point towards the tent and start approaching it cautiously.
Okay. When you say cautiously, are you trying not to be heard, or are you just...
I'm keeping my eyes on it. I guess I could do a stealth check if you want. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Right. So I guess part of approaching cautiously is he starts slowing his footsteps down so he doesn't make his normal lumbering sound, or at least he attempts to. So that's an 8 for stealth. Can't win them all.
You hear, as you get closer, you hear a bunch of scratching and digging around, as if some animal is perhaps looking for some food. But it's almost as if it feels the vibration of your footsteps, and it stops, and you hear a and all movement stops underneath the canvas of the tent.
Okay. Haru's going to get his claws out from his fingers. Like, he's going to extend them, I should say. And then with one hand, he's going to swoop down, grab the canvas, and yank it up, keeping his other hand ready for like a spear hand strike.
Okay, give me a dex save.
Dex save?
Uh-huh.
All right. That's an 18.
Oh, all right. Yeah. As you yank up the tarp, this little blur of skin and teeth just jump straight up at your face with a yell, like a rah! And definitely you cut to the side, and this thing jumps just past you and lands, and immediately starts running on all fours up the hill towards the fields. You recognize this as some kind of weirdly savage-looking little goblin. Its oversized head and ears wobbling back and forth as it runs into the field.
Can I move to catch up to
Absolutely.
up or catch up with it?
Absolutely.
Do we all see this?
Yeah, you're all right there.
Okay, should we make a roll? See who goes first, or no?
Yeah. Because
You can do it
I could entangle it.
Yeah, I could hit it with Ray of Frost.
I think
Okay.
we might want to capture it alive.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody, give me. Go ahead, roll initiative.
19.
9.
29.
I got 18.
Okay. So, who got the 19?
Sam did.
Sam did. Sam. Then it's Leah, Thomas, and then the critter.
And the soldiers were ahead of us, right?
Yeah, they're within the walled section of the town.
Okay, let's see. Yeah. Or I could hit it with sleep, but that would be a waste. You really want to catch it alive?
I'm thinking so.
Yeah, I would say so.
Definitely put it to sleep. But
It's don't waste a first level spell slot on it.
I'm just going to hit it with Ray of Frost, try slowing it down.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to be a 18 to hit,
It's going to hit.
4 damage, and its speed is reduced by 10 feet.
So it's slowed.
4 damage. Okay. It this ray shoots across the field and it hits it right in its hindquarters and sends it rolling across the grass. You can hear it howl in pain as it tries to get up and continue to drag itself. It has no real interest in turning around. It's trying to get away. Laurelin, it is you.
Could I entangle it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a first level spell slot?
Yes.
I'd recommend against it, but you can if you want to. It's just one opponent. That's why.
Okay, well, I guess I'll take it then. I mean, what else am I gonna do?
You know what?
If you're in range, you might be able to run up and make a attack against it to try knocking it out.
Okay. I suppose am I close enough where I could try to restrain it?
You're close enough to get to it. If you would like restrain it, if you want to restrain it, you would have to get up to it and then grapple it. Here. What about everybody else?
Now we can.
Weird.
Yeah, that was strange.
I was saying if you want to restrain it, you would have to run up to it and grapple it.
Okay. Well, I guess Laurel Lynn will step out of her comfort zone and try to grapple it. How do I roll for that?
Okay, so
Break out the grappling rules.
No. So, it's usually just an opposed strength check.
yeah.
My strength thrust is very good, though.
Well, it's a little thing, so it can't be that strong, can it?
Right?
All right, so you run up and jump at this thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lunge at it.
All right, so roll me an athletics check.
Let's see. So I rolled a 2.
Awesome. Yeah, you go running up and jump at this thing, and the wiry little bastard just dodges right out of your way and fees off at a diagonal from you, still making its way towards the grass. Haru?
All right. Can I catch up with it?
At this point, yes.
All right. Haru's going to run after it. He can pull his claws back in and just do like this sideways strike, palm up at its neck from behind.
Okay.
Yeah, just to make it knock out. So I'm gonna say this is a unarmed strike. All right, so that's 19 to hit.
That
6
absolutely hits.
and 6 non-lethal damage. Bludgeoning.
Yeah, you come down with the strength of the dragon god, and your hand hits, and you can feel the body of this thing just go limp. Its little noggin just rears back and forth like a bobble. It falls to the ground and ceases to move.
All right.
Good. Did you kill it?
Not intentionally. I was going for non-lethal damage.
No, it's not dead. It's just knocked out. It's just not having a good time.
I'm just picturing this dragonborn like towering over this little thing and smacking it.
I'm going to walk forward and reach out my hand to let Laurelyn. Did I get the name right?
Yeah, Laurelyn.
Laurelyn, to help pick her up.
I get up. She dusts herself off. I tried. She kind of shrugs. Walks over to the critter and reaches down to see if it has a pulse.
It does. You recognize it as a type of goblin, but it's weird where a goblin that you're used to has exposed skin. This is more furry and has a long tail coming off of the base of its spine, almost as if it could use it to assist in balancing and climbing. Its hands and feet are a little more elongated than anything that you've ever known a goblin to be. This looks more like a monkey than a real goblin.
I'm gonna glance away from the goblin creature and look around. Is there a lot of trees? Like, can I see a forest?
Yeah, beyond the town is as you go towards the center of the island is all wooded. A little bit of clear cutting to the north and the west, where they had gotten the lumber to build the town that you're standing in. But other than that, is dense jungle-like forest.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is it tropical forest?
Yeah, think Cuba.
Okay. So this is going to be no winter campaign. Unless there's a very tall mountain. Okay.
Haru is going to pick up the goblin by the shoulder, check underneath its eyelids, and then walk with it kind of stretched out in front of him to the guardsman.
Okay, so you guys head into the town itself. Come on, Cat.
Does it smell bad?
The goblin?
Yes.
All goblins smell bad.
That's partly why Haru was holding it arm's length away.
Hey, yeah, as you walk in, you see a really odd sight as Oliver and his men are standing there, kind of baffled at what they see. It's as if nothing happened. Everything is in its right place. Everything seems like it would be okay, except for the lack of people. The only difference would be the the bigger building to the right of the gate as you walk in, which appears to be a chapel. If any of you have any kind of religious knowledge, you can roll me a check.
Just 3.
Okay,
No proficiency. I can roll to see if what kind it is, I guess.
Yeah, you can make a roll.
That's going to be 14.
Okay, yeah, you recognize this as a chapel dedicated to Sarae, which was one of the chief archangels of the god Almantor, which was the sun god. She represents more of an adventurous side to the god and more vengeful side. She's her church oversees all of the outlying civilization outside of Almantor's reach.
And that's the building.
It looks as if it had been set to the torch. The building itself is still standing, but it's very sooty and highly damaged. The building itself is probably going to have to come down. You notice just from the damage from the inside of the structure, you can tell from your previous profession as a mason that there's not going to be much saving that building. Now, Haru, you come forward towards Oliver and his men, holding out this goblin. They kind of look back and all reach towards their sabers as you approach. And Oliver looks up. So, what do we have here?
Found this thing rummaging through the tents back there. Looks like some form of goblin. Probably native to the island. Unless it was a stowaway on a ship.
And Oliver sees the beast and holds back his men from instantly killing the creature. And busy to put it down and free the thing. It's still unconscious. As you all are speaking, you hear from inside the chapel a kind of banging, like a sharp pounding on the walls, coming from the back towards the door where it stops and then goes silent again.
Okay.
We might have a survivor.
Let's slowly approach the noise. Of course, we're going to have Haru go first.
Fine. Haru will walk forth first, gingerly stepping over the heaps of ash and rubble on the floor of the church.
Yeah, you notice as you come inside, it's dark, save just a bit of sunlight coming from the now damaged roof. But everything else is dark. The couple of pews that stood in front of the altar are burned and broken, and it seems as if there was some profane ritual that happened at the altar itself, where it has a darkened like sigil that you don't readily recognize, almost painted onto the altar itself, and anything that was flammable seems to have been put in a pile and burned, where it appears that it got out of hand. And
so I'm going to use light on my staff.
Okay.
And I'm going to guess that Oliver is behind us. And I asked him if he's seen that before.
I was going to ask, is the altar stone, wood, metal?
Oh, it's a the altar itself is a mixture of it's stone at the base, then a wooden top to it, almost like a pulpit type structure is at the top of this thing. Where it's burned but not overly damaged. The wood survived whatever conflagration happened in here, which seems to have been short lived.
Yeah, it looks like it was like some kind of sacrifice. Who knows what?
And Oliver is at a loss. He is walking forward and gets very close and runs his finger along the sigil, which smears with his touch, and brings it up to his nose. He jerks away his blood. He pulls out a handkerchief, and cleans his hand, and disposes of the handkerchief onto the ground. As this is happening, again, now that you're inside, it seems to be coming from all sides of just this all around you, as it seems as if something is pounding on the wall in a circular fashion, but it's coming from different angles at the same time, as if it's there's multiple beatings at the same time in unison.
So there's something or many things all around the outside of the building. I mean, on the inside, around the edge.
It's definitely coming from the inside. It's like if someone came up to the wall next to you and just started beating their fists into it. It created a very loud echo throughout the entire chapel.
I'm going to look, using the light from Galvin's staff, I'm going to look around and see if I can find any doors for like side rooms or back rooms in this chapel.
Yeah, there's nothing. The chapel itself there's not much to it, just a place of worship. Well, it's not quite a temple. It's bigger than just a shrine, but it's just one contained room.
I'm going to suggest that we leave it and burn it down.
Go.
Oliver looks to you and immediately asks, are you mad? Are you trying to burn down the rest of the colony for one building? No, this is spiritual in nature. There's no need to burn the entire structure down. But what is the source?
I'm going to look at Laurelyn. Do you have any ideas?
Does it sound like animals? Like, would I recognize it as like...
No, it doesn't sound like animals at all. It literally sounds like
drumming?
Not drumming, but beating. There's no like musical rhythm to it, but it is pounding, raps and pounds on the wall.
Inside of the building.
Kind of like something's trapped inside of the building and pounding on the walls to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much like that.
Okay. Out of character. Not serious at all. I'll put the goblin on the altar and burn it.
Okay. Galrin, could you, Galvin, could you please make a quick sketch of that unholy symbol before we remove it?
Okay. I'm going to.
Can I walk up to one of the walls where the
Mhm.
sound? I want to place my hand on the wall. I assume I can't see anything. Like there's nothing visible. It's just a sound, correct?
Yeah, it's just a sound.
I want to place my hand on the wall. And
All
see
right.
what happens.
Yeah, you place your hand on the wall, and it feels like cold, dirty stone.
But like there's no vibrations, no pounding, nothing.
No, nothing. All is silent.
Okay, so
So it stopped?
It's not constant.
yeah. So what does the signal look?
The whole unholy symbol.
What is it?
You don't recognize it at all.
That's why we're going to basically put it
If,
on.
if you have a copy of it,
I
I'd ask that you show it to us. Otherwise,
I don't right at the moment.
otherwise, we're just going to get like a duplicate of it written in paper on on Galrin's notes.
Mhm.
Galvin's notes, so that we have it for future reference, and then we're going to wipe it off, clean it off the altar. We want to remove it, and if there's any other versions of it around the chapel, we want to remove those too. Just clean the
building.
holy site.
Absolutely, yeah, Galvin. You take a good look at it, and a bunch of like swipes and curved lines. You have no idea who or what it's about or for. You've never seen it before, but you quickly kind of sketch it within one of your notebooks and tuck it away as Oliver and his crew are kind of wiping it down and cleaning it off. You see... I'm sorry?
Prestidigitation.
After he's finished copying it, he just uses the camera to clean it off. Wipe it off.
Okay. As you're doing that, obviously the other members stop what they're doing as they see it just kind of fade off. But Oliver is standing there. You see him for the first time holding a holy symbol and saying some type of prayer. You don't really make out what it is, but something. He's trying to cleanse whatever darkness might still be here.
I'm going to take a look around the chapel and just make sure there's no bones or like burnt ashes of people.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be an investigation check.
All right. 17.
Okay, so is Haru the only one that's doing this?
I'll make a perception check as well.
It's investigation.
Investigation.
You're kind of busy with the altar, though.
Yeah, I guess I'm busy. If it was insight, it would be 9. And investigation
I would like to
would be 10.
make an investigation.
Roll me a d20 and add your bonus.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah. Investigation would be 10 for me.
Okay.
I got 18.
Okay, so you guys spend a good 20 to 30 minutes like trying to go over every little nook and cranny in this place. And both Haru and Laurelin, as you get closer into the altar itself, you hear like a voice kind of echo from darkness. Really, it's from a space that doesn't exist. Just okay. And as you come up, you see a little latch on the altar itself, as if it's as if a panel of it opens like a door.
I want to open it.
Haru's going to clench his fists and get ready.
Okay.
Laurelyn's gonna slowly push the latch. Does it make a squeaky noise?
It not a squeak, but it's kind of like scrapes out from the fire damage along the stone bottom, and the smell is the first thing that hits you. After a couple of weeks in this kind of heat, trapped in this small little alcove in the altar itself is a rotting body. Its skin has already started to recede, and some exposed bone is out. But some poor soul died here for unknown reasons.
Well, we know the reason. Sacrifice.
This doesn't look like the sacrifice itself. This looks like somebody died while hiding.
Oh, they just got stuck inside of the altar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we're going to have to pull the body out,
Bury?
go outside, and bury it.
Haru is going to find a piece of a pew that's long enough to act as like a makeshift stretcher of sorts. Haul that up next to the altar, set it down, and
I wish I had mage hand.
it wouldn't be
No.
big enough.
Or,
And he's going to actually pick up the body and transport it from the altar to the board, the piece of pew, so it can be carried out.
Okay.
Is it a body of an adult?
Yeah, it's an adult.
Okay.
As you pulled the thing out and laid it out on this makeshift stretcher that Haru has constructed, you see that there is a large dark stain along what remains of his clothing. He looks as if he succumbed to some really horrible wound, but the flesh is kind of hard to figure out what exactly happened, as a lot of his innards and flesh is necrotic at this point.
right. And when he puts the body on the makeshift stretcher, I'm going to basically clean out the inside of the altar, and then Haru
Haru would like one other person to grab the stretcher to haul this body out.
Oliver absolutely does it. Helps you take the body out. He instructs one of his men to immediately start digging a grave outside of the grounds.
The clothing on this individual, does it look like a commoner, a craftsman, some kind of noble, or like was he wearing priest's vestments?
No, he wasn't wearing vestments. It looks to be some sort of commoner, one of the colonists that were here. If you just shot in the dark, farmer by nature, you're not really sure.
All right.
Can I look inside of the
Altar?
yeah. Did he maybe scratch anything on the inside? Anything written? I mean,
No,
Okay.
there's nothing there.
so he wasn't there for a long time, like suffering. He kind of was in there and died.
You have no idea how long he was in there or how long it took him to die. Just by what you have, he crawled in there and closed the door behind him and died. You're not sure of the nature of the death or how long he was there. Before death, anyway, because he's been there a little while.
Suppose after while the grave is being dug, since I already touched him, I'm just going to gently and respectfully search through his clothing to see if he has any written notes. If he has coin, I'm just going to leave it on him.
He doesn't have anything at all. No weapons, no pouch, no anything.
Okay. I'll turn to Oliver. I hope you know a good burial rite.
He looks at the poor soul, nods. I know enough. Let's be done with this. Poor wretch. Let's lay him down proper. A couple hours pass as the grave is dug. This poor soul is laid to rest, and the others have started to signal the vessels to start sending people and supplies over, as the area is secure enough to accomplish the contract that the ships were hired to do in the first place. And this goes on for the remainder of the day and well into the night, as several fires are built along the beach. There seems to be an abundance of firewood that was already cut along and stacked along the palisades on the inside. Meals are prepped for the people, and you see Ramona and Captain Magnus on one of the last boats in, speaking with another person along the docks, receiving payments and exchanging like notes and that kind of thing.
While the grave was, after checking the body, Haru is going to go to the goblin prisoner. Make sure it's seated on a chair, just from anywhere. Tied down, he'll use some of his rope if need be, and just kept secure.
Yeah, this thing is hog-tied and on its belly, but it is thrashing about at your approach, completely and utterly terrified. This thing is utterly feral. It doesn't seem to be much intelligence to this thing whatsoever, as it struggles against its bonds.
No information.
Huh. Unless someone wanted to try comprehend languages or something on it.
Yep.
I don't know if that's a spell you have or not.
I don't have it. Okay. I'm not a ranger or anything.
Bet the bard would have it.
Bard.
Yeah. Does Laurelyn have anything like speak with animals or anything of that nature?
Yes. Yeah, I have. I'm able to speak with animals.
Now, the question is this goblin classified as an animal?
Well, I mean, it's.
He said it's pretty much feral.
Yeah, this thing, there's no real sentience to it.
So.
Do you know what this thing for the switches? Do you know what the thing for the switches that you connect with controllers on so I can bring off the wild?
Yeah, it was right there on the couch, baby. All right, sorry about that.
So, can I do that with this?
Yes. Yeah, you would approach it, and it would again try to thrash and pull against its bonds as you laid your hand on it. Is this a spell that you're doing?
I believe so, because it says casting time, one action. It says you gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they can perceive or have perceived within the past day. You might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you at the DM's discretion. That's all it says. And
Okay.
it's duration for 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, you would lay your hand on this thing, and cast your druidic magic, and what it doesn't come out as like spoken language, but you feel this thing's emotion, its bonds. It sounds like it's weeping and saying just a couple of phrases over and over, effectively, let me go, let me go, let me go. So hungry, so hungry. Let me go, let me go.
I'm gonna calmly do we have like any food that I could give it?
We all have rations.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's food. Like I said, around the fires, like stews are being made and meals are being prepped. There's about 40 colonists on the shore now that came with the boats, as well as supplies, like dry goods and tools and that kind of thing, to help the colony.
I'm gonna look at the goblin, kind of kneel down to kind of be eye to eye with it, and hand it some of my rations.
Well, it's tied up, so are you like
I'm
moving
gonna,
your hand towards
yeah.
its mouth?
Yes, but very cautiously.
Dexterity save.
Okay, hold on. 8.
Okay, so as kindly as you were trying to be, you reach in with a bit of dried meat, and as soon as the goblin, the monkey goblin, catches a whiff of the food, it lunges out with its teeth, and its mouth just almost splits its head in half. This thing is just a row of sharp teeth and comes down on your fingers, causing about 3 damage and severely mangling 3 of your fingers.
Joy. I let out a scream and punch it in the head.
Haru, you see this. This goblin has clamped down on Laurelyn's fingers as she's trying to hit it to let it go.
Haru takes his fist, and at this point, he's not going to hold back anything. It's full force. Just kill this thing. It doesn't deserve to live anymore. It's too stupid to survive.
Okay, you don't even need to roll an attack roll.
And you have that critical.
Yeah, nat 20. Just pow.
Okay, yeah, you hit this thing right alongside the eye, full force, and the skull gives in to your fist as his eyeball actually pops out and is hanging loosely along the side of his face, and it goes limp. Laurelyn, your fingers are just barely hanging on by a bit of flesh at this point as you thrash about screaming.
Haru is going to grab Laurelyn's hand that's injured, take a good look at it, kind of wince a bit, and then he's going to begin like bandaging that up.
Ugh.
So I guess medicine check. He's just gonna like try to splint it or something. Yeah, not my best work, 14, but
I'm sorry about that. I missed that last. Can you repeat that?
Haru grabs Laurelyn's hand to hold it steady, inspects it, doesn't look pleased, kind of like holding back a wince of concern. He's going to start bandaging and splinting her hand.
Okay. About your medicine check.
Yeah, I got a 14 for my medicine check.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, it you wrap up the fingers individually, then band them together for stability, and wrap her hand up as well as you can. She's not going to have use of that hand for a little while outside of magical means of healing this.
Which you could do, but
Yeah, I would suggest doing that.
Yeah, but I don't have it prepared, right? Like I have to prepare my spells.
No, druids I don't think have to prepare.
So
Yeah.
can I just switch
Do they?
out?
druids and clerics know all the spells available to their class for their specific levels, and they have to prepare the spells that they want to have access to that day.
I
Yeah,
got you.
I have speak with animals and entangle.
You should be able to prepare. I mean, I can double check it, but it's like a fixed number.
I'm going
And
to
then-
suggest
I thought it was 2.
Laurelyn is our healer.
You can choose a number of spell slots equal to your wisdom modifier plus your druid level.
Oh.
So 1 because you're level 1 druid, and then your wisdom modifier. That's probably at least a +2, most likely a +2.
It says +4
Okay, so you can
in my
prepare
wisdom.
5 spells at the moment.
Oh, well, then I would have cure wounds
Okay. Well-
available.
Well, Haru spends some time bandaging your hand up, so it's at least going to heal naturally.
I'm gonna thank Haru and say thank you, my friend. I'm gonna take it from here. Now that she's calm. Can I go ahead and do cure wounds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wait,
1
D8.
plus 4.
Yeah.
You only took 3 damage. So it should be a
Yeah, there's only 3.
Yeah, but my fingers are like.
Yeah, but I mean, that assumes that the magic is going to knit that together.
Well, I would certainly hope it did because I rolled a 4,
Well,
and you said it was +4.
Mhm.
I overhealed myself.
I'm going to dig a hole for the goblin, untie it, make sure we can use the rope. And then I'm going to light it on fire.
Yeah,
dump
I was
it.
gonna say you should hang it outside as a warning.
I dump it in the hole, and I use firebolt on it. Over and over and over.
Are you really doing this? This is awesome.
But yeah, when we're done with that, I'm basically going to go to the captain and the first mate.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're alone, I tell them what I think one of the problems might be. I think we got a cultist problem on the island.
They both look to you. Concerned is a word for it. The Captain Magnus looks to Ramona who looks at you and says, "What brings you to this conclusion?"
I'll just.
And with lack of a actual holy symbol, I suppose Galvin is going to pull out his copy of the holy symbol.
The unholy symbol.
Yeah, I call it that first.
I'll say
It
it's
should be
something
trademarked. Like that.
Like that. Like 4 fingers
And
straight down and then
claw marks around it.
across both sides.
The Ramona grabs this and looks at it, bewildered, and shaking her head, holds it to the captain, who holds it up in the firelight. This be no cult that I've seen this side of the sea. I don't recognize this at all. Are you sure this means anything at all?
Near as we can tell, that mark was made in blood on the church dedicated to your god or goddess Sarae. And I don't have a lot of experience with religious wars, but if you want to piss off a god, you definitely try to defile their holy churches.
Well, he comes in close. Well, the last thing I'd be doing is going around spreading this cult nonsense where everybody could hear you. There has to be a level of peace and stability in a colony this young. You understand?
I assume that's why Galvin decided to come to you two directly, away from other ears.
Well, me and the crew will be heading out at dawn. If I were you, in your fields of expertise, shall we say, would get to the bottom of this myself and not involve any more than you had to. And definitely no one you couldn't trust. With that, Ramona speaks up. Speaking of setting off, we've been contracted to return in 3 months with another shipment of supplies. With that, is there anything that you would like to see on that shipment, looking to all 3 of you?
Other than food,
That's a given.
holy symbols, holy water, if we can get any.
Haru just shakes his head. Well, I'm not an expert here, and it's hard to tell what we're going to need 3 months down the line. I would like a replacement. I would like replacement spice satchels for my cooking, and you could try to get some cattle here. That'd be good, because vegetables will only get us so far.
She looks at you. Well, that's more of the league that would be investing in that kind of a nature. I was thinking more along the lines of, personal items like various weapons or armor or something that you can't really get around here quite yet. She looks to Galvin. I don't know about holy symbols, but let me check around some of the libraries I know of back in old Freeport, and I'll see what I can dig up. No promises, though.
Mm. You're gonna make a suggestion out of character.
Yeah, out of character suggestion for Galrin. Or yeah,
Galvin.
Sorry, Galvin. That was what I thought it was at first.
It's
And my V's look like ours. Okay, Galvin. If you were to request like a level 1 or level 2 spell scroll,
yeah, that would also work.
that might help. Haru doesn't really use weapons or armor aside from he's got like some darts and I'm going to say something akin to a machete. It's his short sword on hand that he doesn't really use in combat. It's more for utility.
I guess if I was to change my request, it would be spell scrolls. I don't have any.
Look
I
for
have no idea. So I haven't
Some
thought
new-
that far
Some
ahead.
new leather gloves.
Leather gloves.
Yeah, like extra, like
some leather
Use a
gloves.
stick to feed something next time.
10-foot pole.
I got a staff.
well, you know, being a druid and being able to speak to beasts, you would think that would have went a little bit better, but
You tell it, I'm going to give you food. Don't bite me. And its mouth splits open and it tries gnawing at your hand anyway, and then you just kind of toss it to you. Toss it to it. Haru's going to look at the he's going to think back to the jungle and say, if you could get any form of alchemical supplies for treating all sorts of infections, poisons, like fungus, antifungal, like anything of that nature for clearing up I guess skin issues. I think unless the people who've settled on this island have already thought that through, we may be needing a bit of that.
Yeah.
She looks to you, even if somebody else has thought of it, there's no harm in a little friendly competition. And the free market, as we say. And with that, you all agree that you have a list for her by morning before they set off. And she would do what she could to acquire said items along Freeport's markets and bring it back with the next supply shipment. Or at least see it on its way on whatever vessel might happen to be on its way, if it's not the Peregrine itself.
Did you already buy Mason's tools?
Yeah. I start with Mason tools.
Okay.
Yep. I guess if we're done with that, I don't really know anything else.
I want salted pork and long leaf.
Leah, give me a perception check.
Yes. One moment. Oh, Jesus Christ. 11.
Some
Yeah, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Except,
One other thing is like paper and ink, like you said, so I can take notes and
well,
write down scrolls.
as a wizard, he needs a good amount of like magical supplies for copying spell stuff if he finds any here. Copying a spell is like 50. I think it's 50 gold.
Okay. Yeah, we make a list and we give it to Ramona and the crew of the Peregrine to try to get said supplies to you within the next shipment. The evening goes on. It's late into the night. People have eaten. Tents are set up. More and more movement is going towards the safety of the wall palisades and its gate. What would you guys like to do from here?
What I'm going to do is basically meet up with any of the other stonemasons that joined us. Basically draw up a plan for reinforcing the wall with stone.
Well, might be a bit of an undertaking.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a long-term plan.
Laurelyn's going to call it a night and rest. She's had enough of today.
Because I'm pretty sure that they have a stone quarry on the island if some of these buildings are made with stone.
Haru is going to look around for a target range of sorts. Somewhere, if they've got something set up with the garrison where they can practice their marksmanship, he's just going to practice tossing his darts for like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
And after that, if there are any other stonemasons, just
There are a few. You see along one of the outskirts of the campfire, you see a group of dwarves and humans gathered together, sharing drinks and sharing tales along the campfire. As you come forward, you would notice that these are laborers of a hardy kind. You would recognize these as potential workers and bricklayers and stonemasons.
yeah, I'll introduce myself to them. Yes. Stonewall would be a large undertaking. I'm not sure.
I think first order of business would probably be getting the church, the chapel in working order.
Yep. So I guess I would talk to them about that first.
I'm trying to find where I wrote this. I'm sorry. 1 sec.
Yes, first order of business, like generally, we're going to also have to get like farms up. That's not stonemason business, but we're going to have to check on the farms, see if there's any food there. Or if not, we're going to have to clear the land and get that started. But the walls and the gates, there was nothing wrong with them, right?
No, the walls themselves were just fine and as sturdy as the day they were built.
And
as you're sitting there conversing with the dwarves, one of which has introduced himself as Kenneth. He is kind of a blustery guy. He locks himself up and talks about the various projects that he was a foreman of when he finds out that you yourself are part of the Stonemasons Guild. Although not a member of the guild himself, he seems that he wants to make quite an impression on you for maybe future entry and guaranteed contracts going forward. As you guys are kind of going back and forth about the ins and outs of various cuts and lays and that kind of thing, you hear a scream just into the next fire, where you see a large group of these monkey goblins as they're running in to the campfire and trying to grab whatever food stuff they can before disappearing out into the darkness. Several of them have bit some people who lie bleeding on the beach, as some of the soldiers, what amounts to soldiers in this place, scramble for weapons. I'm going to need all of you to roll initiative for me.
Okay. Which direction are they coming from, and did we close the gates?
The gates are not closed, and this is on the beach. And this seems to be coming from more towards the west.
I got a 6.
21.
All right, Haru, you absolutely first.
I just hear the screams. My head snaps in that direction. I take in the sight with an instant, and I'm already moving towards them.
Okay. My original plan was closing the gates when we got here. We forgot about that.
How many monkey goblins are there?
You see anywhere from 8 to a dozen running in and out, trying to gather anything that they can snap their jaws around and drag back into the darkness.
All right. Like, what's their relative positions between each other? Are they like kind of just like scattered all over the place over a wide area, like 30, 40 feet, or are they pretty much?
No, they seem to have concentrated on 2 of the campfires right along the of the beach, and up on the grass where the area was clear cut for wood.
Okay.
The in relative to themselves, it's kind of chaotic around this close area, but that this is where they're concentrating at. This is the easiest target they saw.
Okay. So Haru is going to run out into the midst of them.
Mm-hmm.
If I've got the movement for it, I can cover the distance. And he's just going to start laying into them with fist and claw.
Mm-hmm.
So making an attack against the first one that he gets within range of. 22 to hit. Should be enough. 4 damage. Lethal. I don't think that'll be enough to drop it.
How much was it?
4.
4. No. You knock one of them gnawing on this poor woman's shoulder.
Okay.
She's gouting blood.
Okay. So he hits it off of her, and then he's going to double down and try to finish it off before it can scramble back up and do any more damage. Now that'll be a 9 to hit.
Yes, that's going to miss as this thing dodges out of your way, this little fucker.
Okay.
Darts out into the darkness.
Okay. So that's my first action.
Okay.
First turn.
Now, you get 2 that come charging out of the darkness, just out of the light of the campfire. One leaps at you and just completely misses its bite as you just snatch the thing and throw it towards the campfire. The other one, though, catches you unawares as it gets into your side, and its little jaws clench down onto one of your rib bones and bites down viciously, causing 5 points of damage.
5 points? That's a pretty nasty bite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. 3 more come charging from the campfire towards Galvin. They can't quite make it to you, but they're coming your way towards your area where it sees so much food that these dwarves have prepared themselves. And Galvin, it would be your turn.
Okay. You said there's 3. They're really close to each other, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to use Ice Knife. Trying to hit all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to hit. That's a 24 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nope. So I'm going to do 8 damage to the one I hit.
Which was in the middle one.
And
Awesome.
then 6 damage to all 3 of them.
If they don't
Make a dexterity.
Well, saving throw.
Okay, so that was 8 damage to the first one, and how much for the other 2?
6 damage total. If they fail a DC 13 dexterity saving throw.
One completely fails. The other one just darts out of the way. But the other one gets pelted with these ice shards. As it's does the original one get that damage too? The exploding damage?
Yeah, he has to. If he's still alive, he has to make a dexterity.
Yeah, he failed his dexterity, and he catches the brunt of that explosion. The ice shards jut into his head and body. He falls dead. The other one is knocked over, rolling across the sand, but not quite down as it gets back up and continues to rush. 4 more come jumping out at Haru again. That's a lot of ones. You bat off one into the campsite. Another one misses itself completely, but the other 2 gnaw onto your legs. Let's see here. Okay, that's 4 on one and 1 on the second.
All right.
Another 5 damage.
That's enough to take me down.
Oh, you fall.
Yep, I only have 10 HP.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Okay.
Level 1. Level 1.
Oh.
Leah, it is Laurelyn's turn. You see the Dragonborn fighting off just a batch of these monkey goblins.
Yep.
There's seems to be 5 of them on him, trying to gnaw and bite. And he's bleeding as he falls down to the ground.
I assume I'm not close enough to cure his wounds. He's probably covered in. If I don't know if I want to.
If you have cure wounds,
I do, and I want to use it on Haru.
I don't think you have to touch him. Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. It's touch.
Okay.
So can I run up to him and do it?
Yes. I mean, you got 5 monkey goblins on him.
Well, no, Laurelyn will deal with that, but her main concern is her friend. So,
Okay. Ignoring all the danger,
yeah,
Laura
she's
rushes up to the fallen Haru. And you roll a d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. Should be your wisdom, I think.
so that would be a +4.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. 6.
Six total?
6.
Yep.
Oh,
Is that on the dice or is that like all together?
That's all together with the +4. I rolled a 2, so.
okay. Well, Haru's awake at least.
Up and going?
Yep.
Monkey goblins gnawing on your scaly flesh.
Mhm.
I believe it's back up to you at this point.
Okay. Haru would like to position himself so he's facing most of the monkey goblins.
Mhm.
Okay. And he's going to take a deep breath inward while his spines begin lighting up with electricity calling from his core. And he's just going to spit out a bolt of lightning, 5 by 30 foot wide line from his mouth at all the goblins he can hit.
All right.
So, however many you want to rule he's hitting with this maneuver.
Can hit all 5 if.
Okay. So 2d6, they have to make a dexterity saving throw of 12. They take 11 damage. Half that on a success.
Okay. All 4 of them, or all 5 of them get hit by this lightning breath of you. 3 of them are fried to a crisp on the spot, while the other ones are thrown off as the entire beach lights up like it's daylight. And you see too many more right outside of the firelight. But the spark of this lightning seems to have scared them as before the light even.
Sorry. I'll be good.
That was going to be Haru's battle cry.
That sound echoes across the beach as the remainder of them outside the light turn tail and run. The 2 others are on the ground scrambling to get up, but they're off of you as you see see these things fly off the beach and hit the ground harshly.
Okay.
Those 2 are dead. Okay, so Galvin, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to target the closest one to me with Firebolt.
Probably the injured one.
Yep. Let's see.
I've got dogs who are swarming me.
Dog, puppy storm. Okay.
Come on out.
Okay. That's just a 7 to hit. I'm pretty sure that missed.
A 7? Yeah, that misses.
All right. They want food. I'll be right back. Their stomachs have a clock in them.
Yeah, the 7 misses. So the firebolt juts right past him and hits the sand and throws a clot of it up in the ground as these 2 close ranks and leap at one of the dwarves, landing on him. He's on the ground yelling dwarven obscenities as the others have started to scatter. Leah, it is your go.
So, are they still near me? The ones that were all over Haru, or are they?
There's
they
2 more.
run off?
There's 2 more on the ground near Haru. They're badly burned from this lightning breath that he unleashed. The other three are just almost gone. They got burned so badly. They're just crispy critters at this point.
Okay.
You got two, probably about 50 feet to your west.
That are not wounded.
Well, one, you can't tell from here, but these are the ones that rushed at the campfire that Galvin was sitting at with the rest of the stonemasons. You see those dwarves and a couple of humans bolt past you towards the palisades, where you can hear the guards like trying to get everybody within the walls so they can close the gates.
Okay. Well, I'm not entirely sure how ice knife works.
You target one thing, and it will splash
Okay.
ice to, like, in an explosion to it and all adjacent targets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if they're next to you, so I don't want. You know what? Can I just go in with my scimitar and stab the closest one to me?
Absolutely. There's one that would be just outside of the beach on the grass, trying to regain his composure after being hurled off of Haru with that awful dragon attack.
Okay, so
Make me an attack roll.
all right. All right. I rolled a 4. Oh.
Yeah, you.
If it's on the ground,
If it's prone, you have advantage.
yeah,
It's true.
make another.
Make another attack roll.
Okay.
Use the higher one.
Okay. 11.
An 11? No, that's going to hit because it's prone. So you dig into this thing. Roll me
D6.
damage.
1d6 plus 2.
Mhm.
3.
You get better dice.
You know,
What was it?
she said a 3.
3.
Oh, 3. Oh, okay, I didn't hear it. Yeah, you dig into this thing and it's bleeding very profusely, but it's not dead. All right, Haru, it's your turn.
Okay. So there's the one Marlin is in the process of cutting open, and then there's another one nearby.
Yes,
Is that all of them, or is there?
there's 2 more over near Galvin, and a now dead dwarf.
Okay.
Oh, the dwarf is dead.
Yes, the dwarf is dead.
Okay. Well, he was short-lived. Haru is going to claw down at the remaining one that's alive. And I get advantage on that one too? Or no, is he up?
Yes.
Okay. So, first attack against it. That'll be a 12 to hit. 4
Yes. 4 damage?
Yep.
All right, yeah, this thing is dazed and wobbling around, but it's not dead. It's still trying to get up. You've knocked it back down, and it has rolled a little bit, but it's still moving.
Did I say 4 to hit? It was 12 to hit, 4 damage, but all right. Haru's going to stride up to it again and make his second attack on it. Oh, okay. 18 to hit, 6 damage.
All right, tell me how you kill this thing.
Well, he's a bit vexed that he wasn't able to finish off in one hit because it's just a little goblin thing. So what he actually does is he takes his 3 claws and he jams them into its face about where the eyes are. And once he gets them in, he does a twist and like rakes out to destroy its face.
All right, yeah, it's big ass orbs of eyeballs just explode in a yellow ichor as it falls completely dead.
Yep. And at this point, he's looking at the one Laurelin has, and he's pretty sure she'll be fine. But with his leftover movement, he wants to head towards Galvin, even though he can't make any more attacks this round.
Okay.
All right.
And those two that were on the dwarf, the dwarf has ceased to move. They know they have meat there, but they turn and lunge both of them at Galvin. One is a 16 to hit.
That hits. I have 13 armor class.
All right. Oh, it's only a 2. It grabs onto your forearm from with its teeth. It hasn't completely sank them in, but it got a little bit of a nip on you as it tears a little bit of your forearm flesh. And with that, it's going to be your turn.
Okay. Well, it's on me. I'm basically going to point my 2 fingers at its eyes and cast Firebolt from the tips of my fingers. Do I still have to make a roll?
That's awesome.
You know what? I'm going to say that you just put the palm of your hand right on this thing's chest, and as you push, you cast Firebolt.
Okay. I'll make a roll anyway to see if I get critical.
Or critical failure.
Okay, so that's going to be 13 to hit. And that is full 10 damage.
You melted it.
Yeah, this thing just erupts in flame as its fur just catches, and as it sails across the beach towards the water, you can hear it before it even hits. It stops screaming as it's dead, and you see it on the beach. Its one little claw kind of sticks up and twitches, and like falls down completely dead.
I'm gonna, with the rest of my movement turn, I'm going to turn towards the other one and just kind of try intimidating it.
You are next.
Natural 20.
Oh, did you get a second action there?
No, he tried rolling, but fell off the table. So, well, now he doesn't get 2 actions technically. He's just kind of turning to the next one and saying, "You're next," or something to that effect.
For sure.
Allow that. If you don't, I'll just disregard that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you yell some obscenities at it, but there's no roll there. We'll go back up to Haru as you're running across the beach.
Turn order, wasn't it? Me, then Gal, then.
Oh yeah, it's Leah. I'm sorry, I skipped right past her. You're just gonna ignore her. She's not here.
Okay. I roll poorly anyways.
True.
Finish gutting your goblin.
Yes. I am going to slash at it again with my scimitar and hope that I don't make a fool of myself.
Excellent.
I rolled a 6.
to hit.
I rolled a 6. I don't know what I need to add to this because
It's not going to hit no matter what you
I rolled a 6.
For a scimitar, it'll be your dexterity or your strength modifier, whichever one's higher, plus your proficiency bonus for your attack roll.
+4 attack.
Yeah, it's still not going to hit.
Does she get advantage because it's still on the ground, or no?
No, it's up.
Okay.
Well, damn. I guess I just kind of swing my scimitar around like crazy druid.
I mean, they're quick.
It's,
all like,
it's ducking out of the way.
It rolled out real quick.
I better not lose any more fingers is all I'm saying.
All right. Now we're back up to Haru, running across the beach.
Okay. And he's going to just close in on the last remaining goblin and try to eviscerate it with both of his claw attacks.
Okay.
Which one is the last one? The one I got?
Yeah, the one near Galvin. So that's one crit fail. But I have a 18 to hit and 4 damage.
Okay. Yeah, the 18 absolutely hits.
Yeah. The crit fail. It's like I swing, but it ducks out of the way and I slam the ground instead and get a little puff of dirt.
Yeah, you definitely end up prone as you put so much oomph into that last strike trying to eviscerate it that you're on your back now. This thing has gotten on a little bit of a gash across its torso as one of your claws did make contact, but it turns around to leap at you. You're prone. And it misses. Even with advantage.
It just jumps on me, and I like take my hand and just guide it overhead.
Yeah, Galvin, what you see is Haru on the ground. This goblin has leapt onto him, but Haru has got his thumbs right in the corner of this thing's mouth as the jaws are trying to close around with the teeth, but he's like ripping this thing, trying to keep the teeth from making contact with anything. What do you do?
Okay, I'm basically going to get up to him and basically put my hand on its back while he's holding it there and use fireballs.
That doesn't sound like it could.
This could not possibly go wrong.
Don't be a Laurelin.
Okay, that's going to be a 23 to hit. 5 damage. So precision.
Haru, you feel this wave of heat like push into you as this goblin's like torso explodes out in hot blood that just covers you from neck to groin.
Mm-hmm.
Its head, its eyes roll back in its head as it's still trying to gnash, and it kind of slowly stops gnashing and then opens wide as the eyes roll to the back of the head.
Okay. Haru is going to disgustedly just toss it off to the side and stand up on his turn. Now it's Leia's turn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to stab this critter again.
Okay. Make me an attack roll.
I'm doing it. Jesus Christ. I got an 8 altogether.
Altogether, that is not going to be enough. This thing leaps at you. Also missing. You guys are just kind of like got
Dancing
got
around
the
each
dance
other.
of death going on here. it's,
We're like,
it's snapping and you're swinging and no real headway is being made. But yeah, you both miss each other as Haru stands up and sees this nimble elf dancing with this monkey goblin.
Haruzilla needs to come over here. And
You need to roll a different D20 is what you need to do. That thing needs to go to jail right now.
it's like my favorite one.
Well, you're
Why
right,
is it your
favorite?
What did it do to deserve favorite?
No kidding.
It's pretty.
She's so shallow.
No. It's just a really nice dice. Not today though.
Yeah. See, I bought 2 sets of dice recently. Green one and like a gray green duotone. They look really nice. They roll awful. I'm using the duotone occasionally right now. It's the one that gave me the nat 1 to put me on my back.
I have a wonderful absolute tabletop D20. I
Okay.
got at last year's convention that rolls fairly well for me.
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
Balance.
Yeah, my metal dice are.
All right. So my turn was pretty much spent just tossing goblin off to the side and standing up. So I guess it's Sam's turn. Unless there's more goblins afoot.
Just fine.
I'm just going to use another firebolt to see if I can hit the one that's dancing with her.
You're gonna have to move a little bit closer. What's the range on a firebolt?
I think it's 120 feet.
It's 100.
Oh yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, you can totally do this.
I hope you have good aim, sir.
Well, he's hit all of them at point blank range so far.
Okay, that's going to be 13 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
9 damage.
9 damage.
Oh yeah, Leah, as you're deftly ducking under this thing and swiping with your sword, not making any connections, you see that just the whoosh, as this thing hits this monkey goblin right in the ass, and it flips it around and sends it off into the darkness where you don't hear it move again at all. And as that was the last one moving, you all stand looking about where several of the colonists lay bled out on the beach. The sand is a little red with their gore and vigor. The burned husks of these monkey goblins are thrown across the grass. The smell of burned goblin flesh and fur invade your nostrils as you take note of the current situation. Everybody that can walk has evacuated, and they are well within in the safety of the Palisades.
Okay, I think prestidigitation.
You're going to clean me off? Haru, oh, thanks for the cleanup. Haru is going to do a quick check of the colonist corpses just to see if anyone's still alive or breathing.
Mm-hmm.
If they are, he's going to toss them up on his shoulder. He's going to try and take like 2.
Nobody that's laying on the beach is still alive. The bites from these things are pretty vicious, and there's more than one.
They failed their saving throws.
Yeah. Altogether, you take count. There seems to be about 6 people on the beach that didn't make it.
Well, then Haru is going to still grab their corpses.
Okay.
And bring them up to within the palisade.
And with that,
They keep that on.
How many graves are there in this small town.
Settlement.
You guys dug the first one.
No, but there were the settlement before. They had to build a palisade wall
Before.
and everything.
Mhm.
How many people did they lose the first time?
It didn't seem to be any graves from the first settlement.
Mm.
Mm. Oh, those got turned into the monkey goblins.
Nah, that doesn't make any sense.
Fine, they contracted the monkey goblin fever, and then after the monkey.
Oh my god.
With that, we're going to take a short break. You guys have leveled up to level 2 at this point.
All right,
Yes.
let's see what I roll for my health. I'm going to take a level in monk first. Maybe
And with that, we will be right back.
All right.
We're still live, though.
Yeah, he just mutes his camera.
Okay. And okay, so what am I supposed to do? This is the first time I've leveled up a wizard.
At level 2, oh, you get to pick your school specialization.
Yeah.
But first thing you do is you roll your hit dice, which I think
Is a single D6 or is it going to be two?
it's going to be a d6. So I rolled a 6. I'll take it. I now have 18 health.
Okay. In arcane tradition, and I get a third slot of first level spell. So I'll just write down that. So I roll a d6 for health, see if I get extra.
So at least 6 plus.
First roll of this, let's see. Feel the difference in the windows.
This one's heavier. I think. Different material. One might be hollow.
This one feels heavier to me.
So I'm looking at
Okay, I roll a 5. That means I've got 16 max.
Have you already looked up what circle you're gonna pick?
well, that's what I was gonna talk to you guys about. So there's different ones, but it's not really telling me much
Are you looking?
about them.
Are you looking at
Uh,
Beyond?
yeah, I'm on Beyond.
Okay. I don't use that tool. I just use the books.
Okay.
So
They have they list a bunch. There's like Circle of Land, Underdark. Like I didn't even know. Like that's interesting. Circle of Land, Forest, and they have
Okay, 6 plus Constitution modifier.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be more than it's 5 plus 3. That means I got 8. My health's going to be 19.
you're tougher than me.
Yeah.
You got the +3. Probably start pulling away after I get my Constitution modifier up 1 more point.
Yep. Tradition.
Sam's using my player's handbook right now.
I'll give it to you in a second.
You also have options in Xanathar's Guide.
yeah.
So, Circle of Dreams, Men's Wounds, Guards the Weary, and Strides Through Dreams. That sounds like a Warcraft druid to me. And then Circle of the Shepherd summons nature spirits to bolster friends and harry foes.
Hold on. Like so I'm looking at this and like the options it gives me, it doesn't say? Like circle of shepherd or things like that. It says all it says is circle of land, and then it says Arctic coast, desert, forest, grassland.
Oh, because you pick what your preferred terrain type would be. If you're choosing circle of land. D&D Beyond, if you're using it as your character builder, it'll kind of work, but unless you have access to all the options, like that's the only thing you see, it's because you haven't upgraded D&D Beyond with the books. Because if you check the player's handbook, there's Circle of Land, yes, but there's also Circle of the Moon available. Do you have your player's handbook handy?
Got next to me.
On Xanathar's guide, the druid circles are on page 22.
Okay.
So do a quick check there.
Hold on. I will be right.
I can't remember. Did I decide if I was going transmutation or?
I think that's what you said you're doing.
Okay. So I should rank it in here, right?
And conjuration is if you wanted to do more like the wish and the summoning elementals route, and transmutation would be if you wanted to do other things. Oh, that's right. At level 2, I get unarmored movement. So my movement speed is now 40 feet. And I get key. Equal to my level. So
Okay. I'll hand this back to you.
So it looks like, are you still there in MOA?
Yeah.
All right. I keep switching between your names. All right. It looks like Circle of the Dreams is a pretty good one if you wanted to be a healer, because at level 2 you can you have access to a ranged heal. It starts off at like 2d6, but you can gain 1d6 for every level you have in Druid, and it gives you 120 feet range on a healing
Nice.
thing.
Hold on. Trying to.
Circle of the Shepherd looks like it's more of a talk to animals sort of thing. If you were interested in that, and that's what's in Xanathar's.
And what page did you say? Did you say it was 32?
On Xanathar's, it's 22.
22.
That's when they start talking about the Druid circles.
Okay, yeah. Look at that. Just gotta get back to. Wild shape. Oh, hold on. Hey, Jason. Little kitty is in Hunter's room. I hear my cat meowing over the baby monitor. So I'm just going down my list real quick before I start selecting everything. So at second level, you can use an action to magically assume the shape of a beast that I've seen before. You can use this feature twice. You regain expended uses when you finish. Cool. So wait, if I like took on the shape of a bear, like
Yeah, you basically roll the health for the bear, or just use a standard number associated with it, and that becomes your health pool for now. And if you actually take the damage to drop to 0, then you would take any leftover damage, but it's like added onto your current health pool. So you can do bear form, and they have to kill the bear shape basically, but then you're still pretty much fine underneath it.
Okay, quick question, Thomas.
Yeah.
How do I increase the level on this app?
hey honey, I need the other handbook. So I just wanted to
I don't think it matters.
Okay,
You don't get too much benefit from that.
just want to keep
No.
track of it.
thanks, baby. Okay. Ooh.
All right. Quick bite to eat.
Oh, okay. Hold on, my friend says I have access to all of his books and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Mind.
All right. So quick question, Jason.
Yes.
While we're leveling up, I've added my hit points to my total. Did however much I add get added to my current health points as well? Or are we like doing a full rest and assuming we're at full health?
We're going to do a full rest for the night and assume full health.
Okay.
Well, good news is I got a good roll to increase my health. Now instead of 11 health, I've got 19.
Yeah.
I had a very good roll.
I had a decent roll. I got 18. I mean, yeah. Better than if I did average.
Yeah, I'm going to recover all my health. And I'm going to pick School of Transmutation.
Excellent.
I don't get to pick my tradition yet, but I've got some access to stuff so I can be slightly better in the mix of melee combat.
You could equip a sword.
I've got a sword, but I don't use it.
I know you don't. Your character wants to use his hands.
Mhm.
And it does make you less effective.
What did you settle on, Leah?
Well, I mean, I'm like where I go to edit my character sheet, like for whatever reason, the Xanathar's guide isn't working in Beyond, and I'm trying to figure that out with my friend because I would like to pick a circle from that instead of the, circle of land, forest, or whatever. But they're not coming up, so I'm trying to figure out why they're not coming up.
I guess for
So
now,
should I like what should I do? Should I just kind of hold off and wait?
yeah, I guess you can try troubleshooting it over the week.
Yeah. Okay.
For now, I guess if you're picking something from Xanathar's guide, just like put a piece of paper there to bookmark it or something, and maybe
Yeah.
look back with the ice knife spell,
Okay.
just so you can page between them quickly, and just use the book until you can use your character sheet.
Okay.
Hopefully, you can get that sorted out.
Yeah.
It's just right now.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I'm using a desktop. It's just a paper sheet.
Oh, cool. My other DM is looking into it because he gave me access.
What?
And
You're
he
cheating on
got
me?
all of the books. What?
You're cheating on me?
What are
is
you
this
talking
other
about?
DM?
Since you guys are full casters, you have access to 3 first level spells now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that.
Make note of that.
I noticed that first.
That's the first thing we looked at because it was like, come on, I can't live on 2 spellcasters.
Also, Jason, will we be wrapping this up at 11?
Yeah, we absolutely can. We just need to wrap it all up.
Well, no, it's not that I want to wrap it up. It's just that I have to be up tomorrow for my surgery. That's why.
Very right. Okay. Well, it's about 10:30 now. Would you guys? Let's see. I hate to cut it so short, but
You gotta do what you gotta do.
she's pretty right. Would you guys care to set this up for 2 weeks from now? Let's see. It's 24th. We got one. I got something next weekend.
2 weeks from now, so the 8th.
Yeah, the 8th. Would that be all right for you guys?
As far as I'm aware, yep.
If something comes up, we'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we figured it out. Yay!
Excellent. Yeah. I'm sorry I wasn't planning on that first part running as long as it did. Okay. Yeah, we can call it here so that we can make sure all that's taken care of.
Oh, well, I mean, now I feel terrible. I didn't mean
No. No, you're right.
You either feel terrible now or you feel terrible tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Just go ahead and pick one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was easier to feel terrible about.
Yeah, but I'm really
It's okay.
enjoying it.
It's okay. We'll pick up. I mean, it's actually a good time to like kind of put in a cutscene anyway with the level up and and the combat that just happened. Yeah. I
Okay.
appreciate you guys' understanding on that. We will try. I'll see if my brother will be with us next round, and we will try to make it an epic one.
Okay.
Level
So
up.
Yeah, he's doing roguey things. All right. All right. For those that might be watching in the future, thanks for joining us. This got cut a little short, but we'll be back next time with where we will find out more mysteries of this lost colony. Thank you for joining me. I'm Jason with Smith's Forge Gaming. Thanks to my players, and thanks to y'all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.